Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the home build. You know, it's been pretty nice. We got our house all done, taken care of. Now my thoughts and my thinking is back towards building a shop. Still going to be probably about a year out from building the shop, but things that are happening, there's going to be here in a couple weeks, is asphalt. So my whole driveway is going to be asphalt here in a few weeks, but I also start thinking ahead, like everybody should, is about the shop. So this is the area where my shop's going to be. It's going to be about 20, what did I come up with? 26 feet by 40 feet, 40 feet in depth, and a 12-foot wide, 12-foot tall roll-up door and a man door on the left side. So what I'm tasked with is that back half is about 2 feet too low. I got to bring in a bunch of gravel, and not to mention that this area on the side of the shop is really swampy, and that's where I'm going to be wanting to, you know, cross my fingers, one day park my nice fancy boat and truck and that sort of thing. So, or that sort of thing. But anyhow, right now it's really a swampy mess because several things during the construction, and I kind of saw it coming, was, if you remember on one of my early on videos, I had my main power come through, and then also where my septic is, I had a trench going across, and I backfilled that with gravel and then dirt and that sort of thing, like you should. Well, what water does, because there's a natural spring up there, it follows that gravel all the way around, all the way over to here underneath the driveway, and then anything on the driveway comes through, ends up right here, and you can almost see water just flowing out of the ground here. So this is kind of that 90 turning point between, for my there's two trenches that were dug through here for gas and water. Well, this is kind of the low point of everything, and so what I'm wanting to do is create a French drain dug from there on through back towards the corner of my property and to the low point, and get rid of all of this swampy, watery type stuff. Kind of a collection basin is what a French drain does. Collect all this water and get it on out. Well, so in order to do all of that, I got to strip all of this vegetation, at least, you know, that much of it, get rid of those roots, and I'm going to be putting gravel on here because this is the side of my shop and I want to be able to park stuff on this side. Well, so I got to create that French drain, get that water out, get rid of the vegetation, put in some felt fabric or some sort of road fabric down, because underneath here is like a clay type mixture, and then I can put gravel on it, and I'll put about 6 inches of gravel. Not a ton. I'm not going to do lots and lots of driving, so it's not necessarily driveway, it's just a storage. Okay, so right in here, I'm going to get out my laser. We're going to see where this high, it seems like there's a high point right here, and it collects right there, so I need to dig a trench through to get rid of this water as well as that vegetation, fill it in. So we get to see the process, and as well as kind of cleaning up any sort of edge where the shop edge will be and that sort of thing. Get some gravel, get it compacted, and all that sort of thing. So all this stuff's got to get moved and out of the way. Next weekend we got gravel. We have 70 tons of gravel. That is about and I say about, that's about 6 tandem truckloads. So it's 3 trucks with trailers, which equals about 60 tons. So I'm thinking I need to order at least one more tandem load and that sort of thing. So let's we're gonna get on the mini track hoe and get rid of this vegetation, dig the trench, and all that sort of thing. So let's get started. All right, so what I just got through doing was I was checking with my laser, and I'm seeing if it had a steady fall through here, and to see if there was a hump right there. Well, there really isn't a hump. To the right there's a hump, but to the left it kind of more or less gets flat in this little section here. It's flat right in here, but then it starts flowing downhill again. So my plan is I'm gonna dig about a foot deep from that 90 where we talked about earlier, coming through a foot deep all the way through here, and then eventually when I get past the shop, so the tail end of my shop is going to be right in this area here, I'm going to just start gradually going flat out to daylight here. And in this section here is going to be fabric with gravel and that sort of thing, and to dump it out. So or maybe I'll just grab some of that rigid pipe that I have. That probably sounds a little bit better. It's tying in right at the end of my fabric. So the pipe that I'm going to be using is the leftover from the house, is that fabric, the sock pipe right there. But I only got so much of it, and I don't want to buy a whole nother roll of it. So what I could do is there's going to be sections of it where I'll just line it with fabric, fill it with gravel, and then like a burrito, fill it in, everything. It won't clog, water could drain into it, and eventually I'm going to tie in the end of that, and then have a rigid pipe. So I got some other rigid pipe that I'll connect to that right here on this last bit, rather than having that exposed or fabric and rock exposed. It'll just be better to have one of those pipes. So that's the plan. Now it's time to get some equipment. I did do some layout. This will be the edge of the gravel area so this is the edge where I'm going to be stripping the vegetation. All this vegetation I'm going to put right here on the side, and eventually I'll come back after gravel when things dry out a little more and get the tractor and move all that dirt into somewhere else on the property. I'm not going to haul any of that stuff away. I need it for backfill, for next to sidewalks and that sort of thing. In this area, this isn't like super good soil. It might be okay for at least the top little bit for some backfill and that sort of thing, but get lower than that and then it just turns into straight clay, that gray make some pottery. Maybe we can do that. So anyhow, let's get the equipment and let's start playing and getting tearing up some ground. That's the fun part. Well, I got all that topsoil stripped off of there, and I got that little bit of a trench here that's probably about 8 inches deep or so. Got all that vegetation off. Now it's ready for fabric, but I mean, first I'm going to dig a trench, and only about 8 inches to daylight out that way, so that all this water can drain out that direction. So what you can probably actually see it, is water's just flowing right out of this soil, or excuse me, the sandy area where we use a lot of the sand kind of mixture to backfill in here. It's all caving in actually, so that'll all have to kind of come out. Filter fabric with gravel, open gravel, not like a minus. It has to be an open gravel, all the way out that direction, lined in with fabric. Probably starting somewhere in here. I'll put that pipe at the bottom, and then yeah, so try to get rid of all this water. So that's the Well, we're back. We just got our first load of open rock, which is that right there. Got some fabric all set. I got my pipe, my sock sleeve going from here to there, rigid pipe. It's a 3-inch pipe going from there to daylight. Eventually I'm going to cover the tail end of it back with dirt and that sort of thing. But this open rock is going to go right in this bottom trench area. And then this here is just going to be a burrito wrapped of open rock. So it's important is to have that open rock, which there's no minuses, it's all 3/4 and that sort of thing. So that'll get wrapped, and the open rock allows it also to drain and help filter into that. And then I have some more of this filter fabric that I'm going to lay over top of that, and then 3/4 minus about 6 inches is going to go over top of that, and this is going to be my drive. So pretty stoked, man. I absolutely love it when the big trucks come in, dump their loads, and then I get to push it around with the tractor. So it's all fun toy playing, kind of in my mind. It's like playing. So big boys and big toys. So right now we got the Delta Sand and Gravel out there. He's hooking up his next transfer load. It's 3/4 minus, which he's going to dump in that back corner there, and then he's going to be bringing back on the next several loads, probably at least 3 to 4 more loads of 1.5 inch minus. So what that is no bigger than 1.5 inch rock and a whole bunch of minuses from that point on. So makes a good base. 3-inch minus would be better, but they don't do that anymore. And they do have they could go and get 3-inch minus quarry rock. So this is all river rock. I don't need it. It's all quite a bit extra expense. This area is going to be slab. It's not a foundation. It's not a road bed, that sort of thing. So I don't need any of that sort of thing. Plus it's just going to sit here for a year and a half before I put concrete on it. So I can get a good compaction. I got to go get a plate compactor. So, but I got my work cut out for me, so I should stop talking and get that moved out of the way. So let's get started. So I wanted to show you a little bit after. We got our French drain all backfilled for the most part. I got to do some fine grading. Got a rock put back on. Still got to finish that little bit, but it's gonna be a while before I get some more rock and that sort of thing. When I exposed this corner, water was just boiling out of the ground there. So there was just all that hydraulic pressure of the water following the trenches, going all the way up and around, all that hydraulic pressure going through that sand, through the gravel, just started boiling it up, flowing it out there. So it's been staying really dry. It's been actually since for this video, it's been a couple months. So but carrying on through, you can see the grass got tall, but there was tons and tons of water coming out through here, and we're reaching a point now in the dry season where things are drying up and no water's flowing, but we're gonna have a real nice solid base here for parking our truck and the trailer and all that kind of stuff on. And without that, it would just be a muddy mess. So and frankly, we wouldn't be able to drive on it. So hopefully you enjoyed the process, and the only thing that's left is maybe a little bit more gravel and compacting it, and that's it. So and getting this out of here and backfilling. So that's a French drain. That's parking back here. Cutting in on a really wet soil, turning that really wet soil, getting a French drain, diverting that water, and making it good enough to be able to drive on. So hopefully you enjoyed, and like always, have fun out there, enjoy yourself, and enjoy what you do. I enjoy it, love it, and I look forward to seeing you next time on my home build.